Broken but still chosen. There comes a time in life when your heart feels heavy, your spirit feels crushed, and your dreams feel scattered like pieces of glass on the floor. You look at yourself and say, how could anything good come out of this? But I came to tell you today, you can be broken and still chosen. You may not look like what you've been through, but you are still carrying the mark of divine purpose. Your cracks don't disqualify you. They qualify you. Your pain doesn't cancel your calling. It prepares you for it. Every scar is a story that heaven has already signed off on. See, world celebrates strength, but heaven works through weakness. The oil doesn't flow from a perfect vessel. It flows from a crushed one. If you've been broken, it means God has trusted you with pressure. Pressure that reveals purpose. Pressure that awakens power. Pressure that brings you closer to destiny. You thought the break was punishment, but it was actually preparation. Because sometimes God will let things fall apart, not to destroy you, but to rebuild you stronger. He'll let people walk away so you can learn who you are without their approval. Close one door to show you the power of your own faith to keep walking in the dark. Don't you dare count yourself out because you're broken. Broken crayons still color. Broken soil still grows. Broken people still rise. There's beauty in the breaking because that's where transformation begins. Every time you cried, you were watering your future. Every time you were rejected, you were being redirected. Every time you fell, you were being refined. Stop hiding your scars. Show them. They are proof that grace found you where strength failed you. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are chosen. Chosen not because of what you've done, but because of who you're becoming. Broken but still chosen. Flawed but still favored. Crushed, still called. And when you rise, and you will rise, the same people who thought you were finished will have to watch you flourish. Because when grace decides to use you, no crack, no failure, no past mistake can disqualify you from purpose. So stand tall, even if your heart is trembling. Lift your head, even if your hands are shaking. Speak over yourself. I may be broken. I'm still chosen, because your story isn't over. It's just being rewritten by the hands of destiny. There are moments in life when the weight of our circumstances feels too heavy to bear. Moments when the world looks at us and sees nothing but our cracks. Failures are broken pieces. It's easy to believe that once you're broken, you're done. That your mistakes have marked you forever. Your pain has stolen your purpose. But the truth is, this brokenness is not disqualification. It is preparation. So many people walk around carrying silent shame, trying to hide the parts of themselves that were shattered by disappointment, rejection, or failure. They think they must look whole to be worthy, that perfection is the price of purpose. But in reality, it is the broken vessel that reveals the greatest glory, that shines through the cracks, tells a story of endurance, grace, and redemption. You are not less because you have been broken. You are more because you have survived. When something breaks, our instinct is to throw it away. We live in a culture that replaces rather than restores. God does not discard the broken. He transforms it. He takes what others call useless and makes it priceless. He takes your shattered dreams, your fractured faith, your wounded heart, and turns them into instruments of strength. What you thought was the end of your story was only the beginning of your testimony. There is a sacred strength that comes only from being broken. It humbles you, strips away pride, and it reveals what's real. It teaches you that strength isn't about never falling apart. It's about learning to rise again, even when you've been shattered. Some of the strongest people you will ever meet are not the ones who have never been hurt, the ones who kept walking with tears in their eyes, refusing to let pain have the final word. Brokenness has a way of opening your eyes to truth. When you've been broken, you see life differently. You understand people's pain with compassion. You no longer judge as quickly because you've tasted your own weakness. You realize that everyone carries something invisible. You learn that kindness is more powerful than criticism. And slowly you start to see your scars not as signs of shame, but as proof of grace. It's in your brokenness that your greatest lessons are written. You discover who truly loves you, who stays when everything falls apart, and who you can become when life forces you to rebuild from the ground up. You find faith again, not the shallow faith that believes only when things are good, the deep faith that stands when everything else has fallen. The kind of faith that whispers, I don't understand, I still trust. The breaking was never meant to destroy you, it was meant to define you. It's in those crushing moments that your purpose starts to emerge. The diamond doesn't shine without pressure. The seed doesn't grow without breaking open. The gold isn't purified without fire. So if you're walking through a season where you feel like everything is falling apart, remember, something beautiful is being formed inside the breaking. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. Many people think their mistakes have disqualified them from destiny. They believe that because they failed, they can no longer be used. History has never been written by the flawless. It's been written by the redeemed. Every great person was once broken, rejected, or misunderstood. They didn't rise because they were perfect. They rose because they refused to stay down. You cannot allow your past to speak louder than your promise. The pain you carry is not meant to paralyze you. It's meant to push you. Your scars are not proof of defeat. They are proof that you made it through what others didn't think you could survive. You've been through storms, but you're still standing. You've lost people, but you're still loving. You've been broken, but you're still believing. That alone makes you powerful. You might not realize it now, but your brokenness is the birthplace of empathy. It softens your heart, teaches you humility, and connects you with others in ways perfection never could. When you've been through the fire, you know how to pull someone else out of it. When you've cried yourself to sleep, you know how to comfort someone else's tears. That's what makes your brokenness sacred. It makes you human. It makes you real. It makes you whole in a way that unbroken people may never understand. Don't hide from your pain. Don't cover your cracks. Let the light shine through them. Because it's your transparency that will touch others. Your story will heal someone who thinks they can't recover. Your journey will show someone that broken does not mean finished. You may think your life is too messy to matter. It's often the mess that becomes the message. When the potter works with clay, he doesn't throw it away when it cracks. He breaks it down, wets it again, reshapes it. Why? Because the material still holds potential. You are that clay. You may have been stretched, pressed, and broken, but the hands that hold you are still shaping something extraordinary. What was once broken is now being molded into beauty. There's a Japanese art called kintsugi where broken pottery is repaired with gold. The cracks are not hidden. They are highlighted, filled with beauty. Object becomes more valuable because of its brokenness. That's what grace does. It fills the cracks of your soul with gold until your story becomes a masterpiece of mercy. So lift your head. Stop calling yourself unworthy. Stop believing that your pain has canceled your purpose. You are not too damaged to be used. You are not too broken to be loved. You are not too far gone to begin again. The very things that tried to destroy you are the things that will define you. You are proof that brokenness does not mean disqualification. It means transformation. You are not what happened to you. You are what you chose to become after it. And every time you choose to rise from your brokenness, you prove that purpose is stronger than pain. So keep walking even with cracks in your heart. Keep believing even when your faith feels fragile. Keep showing up even when it hurts, because the same fire that tried to break you is the fire that's refining you. One day, you'll look back and realize that everything that broke you also built you. You're still here, still breathing, still chosen, still called. Brokenness is not your end. It's the beginning of a stronger, wiser, deeper version of you. And that version, my friend, is unstoppable. Pressure is something every soul must face. It comes uninvited in heartbreaks and failures, in sleepless nights when your dreams feel too far away. Pressure is not your enemy. It's the invisible hand that shapes your destiny. You can't discover who you truly are until life presses you. Because purpose doesn't grow in comfort. It's born in struggle, refined in pain, and revealed through pressure. When life presses you, it's not trying to destroy you. It's trying to develop you. Diamonds are not formed in gentle environments. They're created in the darkest depths of the earth, under unimaginable heat and pressure. Without that intensity, they remain ordinary stones. The same is true for you. Without pressure, your potential stays buried. Without challenges, your strength remains hidden. The discomfort you feel today is not punishment. It's the process of becoming. Many people run from pressure. They escape from anything that stretches them, anything that demands more. But those who are destined for greatness understand something deeper. Weight you carry is the evidence of what you're built to become. The pressure you feel is not a sign of weakness, but of worth. You're being trusted with weight because there's power inside you waiting to be released. Think about a seed buried in the soil. It sits in darkness, surrounded by pressure from the earth pressing down. It could remain there and decay, but something inside it begins to push back. That push, that inner resistance, is purpose coming alive. The seed doesn't escape the pressure, it grows through it. That's exactly what happens when you decide not to give up in your darkest moments. The pressure you're under isn't there to crush you. It's there to cause something inside you to grow. The truth is, nothing valuable comes without pressure. The olive must be crushed to release oil. The grape must be pressed to produce wine. Gold must endure fire to become pure. So when you're in a season where everything feels like it's closing in, don't curse the pressure. Learn from it. Ask yourself, what is this trying to produce in me? Because the pain you feel is often the proof that something powerful is being birthed within you. Pressure reveals character. When everything is easy, it's simple to smile, to believe, to stay positive. But when life turns up the heat, that's when the real you is revealed. Pressure doesn't just shape your purpose, it shows you what's inside you. You can't claim strength until you've had to stand in storms. You can't claim faith until you've had to walk by it. And you can't understand peace until chaos has surrounded you. Pressure introduces you to your deeper self. There will be moments when it feels unbearable, when you wonder if you're strong enough to keep going. It's in those very moments that your spirit learns endurance. You're developing a resilience that comfort could never give you. Every tear, every trial, every season of waiting is working something within you: patience, wisdom, empathy, courage. You are becoming who you were meant to be, even when it doesn't feel like it. Sometimes pressure comes not from failure, but from growth. When life elevates you, the weight of responsibility increases. The higher you go, the more pressure you carry. It's the same reason why the air is thinner at the top of the mountain. Pressure isn't there to suffocate you. It's there to stretch your capacity. It teaches you how to breathe deeper, to think clearer, to lead stronger. If you're feeling the pressure of your purpose, it means you're walking in it. Don't be surprised if the pressure isolates you. Sometimes God will separate you from the crowd, not because you're forgotten, but because you're being prepared. You can't rise while carrying everyone else's expectations. You can't fulfill your calling while trying to please the world. Pressure purifies focus, strips away distractions until only what truly matters remains. The breaking you feel is actually a reordering, removing what's temporary to reveal what's eternal. There's something sacred about being pressed and not quitting. Every time you get up after being knocked down, you build spiritual muscle. Every time you choose faith over fear, you strengthen your foundation. Every time you decide to trust instead of complain, you rise a little higher. Pressure may not stop, but you become stronger beneath it. You realize that what once would have crushed you no longer has the power to break you. That's growth. When pressure builds, it's a signal not that you're failing, but that you're being elevated. Think about a rocket. It must withstand extreme pressure before it breaks through the atmosphere. If it can't handle the pressure, it never reaches space. The same principle applies to your dreams. The greater your purpose, the greater the pressure. That's why you can't compare your journey to someone else's. Your pressure is personalized for your purpose. It's easy to see pressure as pain, but if you look deeper, you'll realize it's also direction. It pushes you out of old places, old habits, and old mindsets. It forces you to adapt, to grow, to change. You might be asking, why am I under so much strain? Why does everything feel so heavy? Because something greater is calling you forward. Purpose never arrives without pressure knocking first. Every successful person, every world changer, every survivor has one thing in common. They learned to use pressure as fuel, not fear. Challenge enough. They took their pain and turned it into power. They didn't let the weight make them bitter. They let it make them better. That's the secret. Don't fight the pressure, flow with it. Let it form you into someone stronger, wiser, deeper, and more compassionate than you were before. Pressure is a gift in disguise. It refines your vision, deepens your gratitude, and awakens your inner fire. Without it, you would never discover how strong you truly are. So when you find yourself pressed on every side, don't give up. Remind yourself that diamonds don't shine without pressure, and purpose doesn't emerge without pain. You may not see it yet, but this season is shaping something powerful inside you. The pressure that feels like it's breaking you is actually building you. It's forging endurance. It's unlocking creativity. It's aligning you with destiny. One day, you'll look back and realize that the moments you thought were crushing you were actually the ones that carried you closer to your calling. So don't run from the weight, carry it with grace. Stand firm even when the ground shakes. Because purpose doesn't emerge when everything's easy. It emerges when you choose to believe in spite of the pressure. The greater the pressure, the greater the promise. Hold on. And care enough. You're not being buried, you're being planted. And when the time is right, what's growing inside you will break through the surface. You'll see that the pressure wasn't your punishment. It was your preparation. Purpose emerges from pressure. Every push, every tear, every challenge has been working for your good. The crushing was never meant to kill you. It was meant to crown you. And when you rise from this season, you won't just be stronger, you'll be unstoppable. Rejection is one of the hardest things to face. It cuts deep, not just through your emotions, but through your sense of worth. It whispers lies that tell you you're not enough, that you failed, that maybe you were never meant to succeed in the first place. But the truth is far greater and far more powerful. Rejection is not the end of your story. Rejection is redirection. It's the universe, it's life, it's divine wisdom saying, not here, not now, but somewhere better, somewhere greater. There are doors you prayed would open, but they didn't. There are people you thought would stay, but they left. There are opportunities you reach for with all your heart, only to have them slip away. And in those moments, it's easy to think something is wrong with you. What if nothing went wrong at all? Well, what if you were being redirected towards something that fits your purpose more perfectly than you could ever imagine? Sometimes rejection is protection. Sometimes it's preservation. The things that didn't work out were never meant to define you. They were meant to refine you. You weren't rejected because you weren't valuable. You were rejected because you were being saved from settling for less than what was meant for you. Life has a way of closing certain doors, not to punish you, but to push you into places where you truly belong. We often want acceptance so badly that we chase it in places where we don't fit. Try to convince people to see our value, to love us, to include us, to approve of us. But when they turn away, that rejection becomes our greatest teacher. It shows us that validation can't come from others. It must come from within. Because when you know your worth, rejection doesn't destroy you. It directs you. It becomes a compass, not a curse. Look back for a moment at your life. Think of all the times you were rejected by people, by opportunities, plans that never came together. And now notice how every one of those rejections led you somewhere new, somewhere different, somewhere better. Maybe not right away, but eventually it brought you to the path you were meant to walk. You didn't see it then, but every closed door was a form of grace. Rejection is life's way of saying, you deserve more than this. It's the turning point where destiny intervenes and shifts your direction. Sometimes you have to lose what you thought you wanted to find, what you truly need. Sometimes you have to hear no to be guided toward your real yes. You see, we pray for purpose, but we resist the process that leads us there. We want clarity, but we get closure instead. We want open doors, but the ones that shut are the ones that save us. It's painful because rejection challenges our identity. It makes us question who we are. and whether we're worthy of love or success. But that discomfort is part of the transformation. You learn who you are when people walk away. You learn your strength when opportunities vanish. You learn that your destiny is not determined by who accepts you. It's revealed by who rejects you. The places that couldn't hold you weren't meant to contain your purpose. Some rejections are divine delays. You weren't denied. You were delayed for something bigger. Sometimes you're not ready yet, or sometimes what's meant for you isn't ready yet. Life aligns things perfectly, even when it feels like it's falling apart. So when you face rejection, don't rush to replace what you lost. Take a breath, reflect, realize that something better is already being built behind the scenes. There are seasons where rejection will feel like abandonment. But later, I challenge you, when you've grown, when you've healed, when you've reached new heights, you'll look back and say, thank God they didn't choose me. You'll realize that being left out was actually being lifted up. You'll see that losing them was finding yourself. Because sometimes the worst rejection is actually the best redirection life could have given you. Think of it like a navigation system. When you make a wrong turn, it doesn't shut down. It simply says, recalculating. That's what rejection does. It recalculates your route to destiny. You might take a longer path, but you still reach the right place. You just needed that detour to grow, to learn, to build strength. You needed to be rejected from where you didn't belong so you could recognize where you do. Rejection also teaches you how to trust. When doors close and people disappear, it forces you to lean on something greater than yourself. It teaches you that there's a timing and wisdom beyond what you can see. You stop chasing what doesn't want you. You start attracting what truly aligns with your purpose. You stop begging for space in places that were never designed to hold you. Sometimes you are rejected not because you are less, but because you are more. Your light was too bright for the room you were in. Your spirit was too strong for the circle that surrounded you. Your calling was too big for the environment that tried to contain it. And when the world says, you don't belong here, it's not the end. It's the beginning of your journey to where you do belong. It's important to remember that not every rejection is loud. Some rejections are quiet. Unanswered messages, opportunities that never materialize, people who slowly fade away. But silence itself is a message. It says, move on. There's nothing left for you here. Don't chase what's not chasing you. Don't waste energy trying to reopen doors that were closed for your protection. The longer you hold on to what's leaving, the longer you delay what's coming. When rejection comes, feel the pain, but don't build a home in it. Cry if you must, but don't quit. Because one day you'll realize that every no was a divine next. Every goodbye was a setup for growth. Every loss was a lesson preparing you for expansion. You can't see the full picture while you're in the middle of it, but when the pieces come together, it will all make sense. You were never meant to fit everywhere. You were meant to fit somewhere specific, and rejection is how life narrows your path until you find that place. You'll know when you arrive because it will feel different, not forced, not painful, not uncertain. It will feel right. That's what happens when you stop chasing acceptance and start walking in alignment. So, when you're facing rejection, shift your perspective. Stop asking, why didn't they choose me? And start saying, thank you for making space for what's truly meant for me. Stop mourning what left and start preparing for what's next. The door that closed wasn't your last chance. It was your redirection towards something divine. You are not less because you were rejected. You are being positioned for something greater. Every no carries a hidden yes. Every loss carries a lesson. Every rejection carries redirection. It may hurt now, but one day you'll thank life for not giving you what you thought you wanted, because it gave you what you truly needed. Rejection is not your ending. It's the turning of a page. It's a redirection toward growth, purpose, and fulfillment. So hold your head high. Go of what walked away. Trust that where you're going is greater than where you've been. Because when life redirects you, it never leads you backward. It always leads you closer to destiny. There are moments in life that shake you to your core. Moments when everything you thought was secure begins to crumble. The job you counted on disappears. The relationship you gave your heart to falls apart. The dream you nurtured for years shatters before your eyes. In that silence, after the breaking, you wonder if anything beautiful could ever come from so much pain. There is a secret written deep into the fabric of life. There is beauty in the breaking. The breaking is not the end of you. It's the awakening of you. It's where the real transformation begins. We spend so much time avoiding the pain of being broken that we miss the sacred power within it. Because it's only when something breaks that light can enter. It's only when the old structure collapses that something new can rise in its place. The breaking may feel like destruction, but it's actually construction in disguise. There is beauty hidden in the process of breaking, even if you can't see it at first. Think of how a caterpillar must break out of its cocoon to become a butterfly. Inside that cocoon, everything familiar to it dissolves. It becomes unrecognizable, a mess of transformation. If you looked at it mid-process, you'd never believe something beautiful was forming. But after the breaking wings emerge, flight becomes possible. That's what happens when you're broken. Your wings are being prepared. Sometimes we pray for growth without realizing that breaking is how growth begins. You can't expand without first letting something old fall apart. You can't reach higher without shedding what kept you grounded. The breaking strips you of comfort, illusion, and pride. It teaches you humility, dependence, and strength. It brings you face to face with your true self, not the one you show to the world, but the one that emerges in your pain. Breaking moments are sacred. They expose the parts of you that need healing. They reveal where you've been holding on too tightly. They show you what no longer serves your soul. As painful as it is, that revelation is the beginning of your rebirth. You can't heal what you won't acknowledge. The breaking brings truth to the surface, and truth brings freedom. In the breaking, you discover the depth of your resilience. You find out that you can bend without breaking apart completely. You realize that your heart, though cracked, still beats. You find strength in your tears and clarity in your solitude. You start to see that maybe, just maybe, what broke you was never meant to stay whole. It was meant to break open so that something greater could come through. The breaking forces you to slow down. It pulls you away from the noise and makes you confront what you've been running from. You begin to feel what you've been suppressing. You start to release what you've been carrying. There's beauty in that honesty. In admitting your weakness, in facing your fears, in learning how to let go. Because the moment you stop pretending to be whole, healing begins. The beauty in the breaking isn't always visible right away. Sometimes it takes time, weeks, months, even years, before you can look back and see the purpose in your pain. But it's there. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every closed door is carving you into someone wiser and more compassionate. You're being refined, not ruined. You're being shaped, shattered. Think of a potter working with clay. The clay must be pressed, molded, stretched, sometimes broken down completely before it becomes something beautiful. The potter doesn't panic when the vessel collapses. He simply reshapes it. Why? Because the potential of the clay hasn't been lost. It's still there, waiting to be revealed. That's what your breaking moments are. Divine hands reshaping your life for a higher purpose. And sometimes breaks isn't meant to be fixed the way it was. Some things are meant to remain open so that grace can flow through them. Some things are meant to change you forever. You won't be who you were before, but that's the point. The breaking transforms you. You'll love differently, think differently, and live differently because of it. You'll have a softer heart and a stronger spirit. There's a Japanese art form called kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired using gold. Instead of hiding the cracks, they highlight them. The idea is that the object becomes more valuable and beautiful for having been broken. That's the same truth for your life. Your scars tell a story of survival. Your cracks are filled with the gold of wisdom, faith, and resilience. The breaking didn't make you worthless. It made you priceless. Sometimes the breaking comes as loss. Losing people, losing plans, losing parts of yourself you thought you needed. It hurts because endings always do. But endings create space for beginnings. The soil must be broken for seeds to grow. The seed must break open to release new life. Every ending carries the seed of something new within it. The pain you're feeling is the evidence of transition. Something inside you is being reborn. You may not see it now, but the breaking is clearing away what can't go with you into the next season. It's removing the weights that held you down. It's preparing you for expansion. What you call breaking, heaven calls building. What you call loss, life calls transformation. You're not falling apart. You're falling into purpose. There will be nights when the pain feels unbearable. You wonder if you'll ever be whole again. But those are the nights when healing begins to whisper. Healing says, you don't have to have it all together. Just take the next breath. Just trust the process. The same hands that allowed you to break are the hands that will put you back together, not in the same way, but in a better way. Beauty emerges slowly after the breaking. One morning you'll wake up and realize you can smile again. One day you'll feel peace where there used to be chaos. One moment you'll look at what once shattered you and say, thank you. Thank you for breaking me open. Thank you for showing me my strength. Thank you for teaching me how to rebuild, because the breaking may have changed you, but it also made you. There is beauty in every broken moment if you choose to see it. The beauty is in your courage to stand when you could have stayed down. Beauty is in your willingness to forgive, to start again, to love again. The beauty is in your scars, in the evidence that you survived, because beauty isn't perfection, it's transformation. So if you're in the middle of your breaking, hold on. Don't rush to fix it. Let it mold you, teach you, stretch you. The breaking is not your enemy, it's your becoming. One day, the pieces that seem scattered will come together in a masterpiece. When you see the whole picture, you'll understand it had to break for the beauty to show. You were never meant to remain the same. You were meant to evolve, to grow, to rise from your breaking with more grace, more strength, and more light than before. Don't fear the breaking, embrace it, because within every breaking is a new beginning, and within every scar is a story of beauty reborn. Every scar tells a story. Every mark on your heart, every wound on your soul, every memory of pain. They all whisper of something you've survived. We often try to hide our scars. We cover them with smiles, with silence, with strength we pretend to always have. But scars are not symbols of shame. They are the evidence that grace found you where pain tried to break you. Scars are proof that what was meant to destroy you did not win. Scars are proof of grace. Grace doesn't erase the wound, it transforms it. It takes what hurt you and turns it into a testimony. You may not have come out untouched, but you came out changed. And that's what grace does. It redeems what pain tried to ruin. It takes the broken and makes it beautiful. It takes the story that was once full of sorrow and rewrites it with strength, faith, and healing. I challenge you to love enough. When you look at your scars, you should see more than just what happened to you. You should see who you became because of it. Scar on your heart means you loved deeply. That scar on your spirit means you fought through battles no one saw. That scar in your past means you faced storms that could have crushed you, but here you are, still standing, still breathing, still rising. We live in a world obsessed with perfection. We want to appear flawless, unbothered, untouched by struggle. But perfection is a lie. Real beauty is found in imperfection, in the authenticity of a scared life that still chooses to shine. Grace doesn't flow through perfection. It flows through cracks. The cracks are where the light gets in. The scars are where the strength shines out. Your scars tell the truth that pain is not the end of your story. They remind you that healing is possible. They show that time faith, endurance can turn wounds into wisdom. They are the permanent signatures of temporary suffering. And even though they don't fade completely, they stop hurting. They become reminders not of what broke you, but of what built you. Sometimes you might trace your scars and feel sadness. You might remember who hurt you, what you lost, or what you went through. That's okay. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means you can remember without reliving it. It means you can look back at the same memory that once made you cry and now say, I made it through. Grace carried you then, and it still carries you now. Scars are sacred because they hold both pain and promise. They show that the same place you belong is now the place you've been healed. They remind you that even though life wounded you, it couldn't destroy you. That's the mystery of grace. It doesn't always prevent the breaking, but it always provides the mending. Think of a tree that has been struck by lightning. For a moment, it seems destroyed, the bark torn, the wood burned, the scar permanent, but that same tree continues to grow. The scar becomes part of its story, proof of endurance. It stands taller not because it avoided the storm, but because it survived it. That's you. The storms didn't end you. They revealed your roots. There's a quiet power in a scared person who still believes, who still loves, who still hopes. Means grace didn't just heal your body, it healed your spirit. It means you've seen darkness but still choose light. You've experienced loss but still choose gratitude. You've faced despair but still choose faith. That's grace at work. Grace doesn't make life easy. It makes it possible. Scars also connect us. When you show your scars, others see their own healing reflected back at them. Your story becomes someone else's survival guide. You might not realize it, but your courage to speak about what you've overcome can help someone believe they can overcome too. Grace multiplies when it's shared. What once was your pain can become someone else's hope. Never be ashamed of your scars. They are not signs of weakness. They are proof that you fought and didn't give up. They show that you are human, beautifully, vulnerably human, and yet covered by something divine. Grace is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's simply the strength to get up one more time. The whisper that says, you can keep going. The gentle hand that helps you stand when your legs still tremble. You may carry scars that no one can see. Emotional ones, visible ones, wounds that left no trace on your skin but carved deep into your soul. Those scars count too. They are not less real because they are unseen. They are still proof of grace, proof that you endured, that you grew, that you healed in ways no one else will ever fully understand. Grace doesn't need visibility to be valid. It just needs truth. There's beauty in the person you've become because of your scars. You're softer, stronger, quieter, but wiser. You know how to forgive because you've been forgiven. You know how to help because you've been helped. You know how to heal because you've been healed. Every scar taught you something. Patience, humility, empathy, resilience. They were not wasted. They were woven into your purpose. Grace doesn't erase the past, it redefines it. You may look back and wish certain things never happened, but without them, you wouldn't have discovered your strength. You wouldn't have found your purpose. The scars are the evidence that even when everything was falling apart, something greater was holding you together. That's the quiet, powerful work of grace. Sometimes people will judge you for your scars. They will misunderstand your pain. They will look at your brokenness and see weakness. But let them. They don't know the battles you fought. They don't know the nights you cried yourself to sleep but woke up and tried again. They don't know that what they see as damage is actually divine craftsmanship. Grace works best in what others call ruined. So the next time you see your scars, physical or emotional, don't flinch, don't hide. Trace them with gratitude. Say to yourself, this is where I was wounded, and this is where I was healed. This is where I fell, this is where I rose. Your scars are reminders that grace didn't just visit you once, it has been walking with you all along. And one day, when you meet someone else who is hurting, you'll show them your scars, not to boast, but to reassure them. You'll say, I've been there too. There is hope. That's the legacy of grace. It doesn't just heal you, it empowers you to heal others. You are not defined by your wounds. You are defined by your healing. The scars remain, but they don't hurt anymore. They shine as proof that grace was real, that you endured, that you overcame. Every scar on your journey tells a story of redemption, of love stronger than loss, of light brighter than darkness. So wear your scars with pride. Hide your history. Honor it, because every line, every mark, every healed place declares a single, timeless truth. You were wounded, but you recovered. You were broken, but you were rebuilt. You were lost, but you were found. You are living proof that grace is real. That is more beautiful than perfection could ever be. There comes a moment in life when you begin to wonder if you've missed your chance, if the mistakes you made, the detours you took, the pain you've endured have somehow disqualified you from the life you once dreamed of. You look back at all the moments you fell short, all the doors that closed, all the prayers that seemed unanswered, and something inside you whispers, maybe I'm not meant for greatness anymore. But I came to remind you today, you are still chosen. It doesn't matter what happened, who left, what failed, or what broke. The calling on your life was not canceled because of your pain. The purpose planted within you wasn't erased by your mistakes. Destiny doesn't need perfect conditions to unfold. It just needs a willing heart. You are still chosen, even if you're scared, even if you're uncertain, even if you feel like you're running on empty. The fact that you're still here, still breathing, still searching for meaning, proof that purpose hasn't given up on you. You might have fallen, but falling doesn't mean finished. You might have been delayed, but delay doesn't mean denial. Life has a way of convincing you that you've lost too much time, that you've missed too many chances. You're too far gone to turn it around. But grace specializes in second chances. The very thing that tried to bury you can become the soil where your next season grows. What you see as wasted years, heaven sees as preparation. You are still chosen because your calling is not based on your perfection. It's based on divine intention. Before anyone doubted you, before you doubted yourself, there was already a purpose written over your name. And no failure, no setback, no betrayal can erase what's been written. You might have to walk through fire, but you'll come out refined, not ruined. You might have to endure silence, but even in the quiet, destiny is speaking. You are still chosen. Sometimes life breaks your confidence before it reveals your calling. It strips you down until all you have left is faith. Challenge you enough. That's where real strength is born, in the emptiness, in the uncertainty, in the moments you thought you couldn't make it, but did anyway. You may not feel chosen, but feelings are not facts. The evidence of your purpose isn't in how you feel. It's in the fact that you keep getting up. That's what chosen people do. They rise again and again and again. You are still chosen even if you're tired, even if you've cried until there were no tears left, even if you're holding on by a thread. Sometimes being chosen doesn't look like victory. It looks like endurance. It looks like showing up when no one notices. It looks like believing in a promise that hasn't shown up yet. But make no mistake, being chosen means you've been trusted with the process, not just the promise. There are seasons where chosen people look overlooked. They're hidden on purpose. They're in the background, developing strength, building character, learning patience. The hidden season is not punishment, it's preparation. You're not forgotten. You're being forged. You're being shaped for the thing you were born to carry. Because when you're truly chosen, the weight of your calling requires the maturity of your waiting. You are still chosen even when life doesn't make sense. You may not understand why things happened the way they did, but one day you'll see that even the pain had purpose. The betrayal made you wiser. The heartbreak made you deeper. The silence taught you to listen. The loss taught you gratitude. Every part of your journey was necessary to equip you for what's next. Nothing was wasted. Being chosen doesn't mean life will be easy. It means you've been selected for something meaningful. It means you'll face battles others won't understand because your mission is different. You'll be stretched, challenged, refined. But in all of it, you'll also be strengthened, guided, and sustained. You'll learn that divine favor isn't about everything going right. It's about still standing when everything goes wrong. You might look at others and wonder why their paths seem smoother, their victories quicker. But don't compare your process to theirs. You're not behind. You're being built. Every detour, every delay, every disappointment is setting the stage for something bigger than you can imagine. The pain you're feeling now is not the end. It's the preparation. The waiting you're enduring is not wasted. It's working. You are still chosen, even in the waiting. When the weight of your past tries to crush your confidence, remind yourself, I am still chosen. When the voices of doubt whisper that it's too late, remind yourself, I am still chosen. When you feel unseen, unheard, unloved, still you are chosen. Because being chosen was never about being perfect. It was about being willing. You don't have to have it all together to be used for something greater. You just have to stay available, open, and faithful. There will be moments when your heart questions your worth. Moments when you wonder if you're strong enough to keep going. But remember this, the same hand that chose you once is still guiding you now. The same purpose that called your name before will call it again. You are still chosen, not because of what you can do, but because of who you are becoming. Beautiful thing about being chosen is that your story always has redemption built into it. You can fall and still find your footing. You can fail and still find your fire. You can lose everything and still find yourself in the ashes, holding on to faith. That's what chosen people do. They rise from ruins and keep walking toward destiny. So stop letting shame define you. Stop letting fear limit you. Stop letting the past convince you that you're unworthy. The fact that you survived what others didn't is proof that there's still something left for you to do. You're not breathing by accident. You're not reading these words by coincidence. You're here because grace still has work to do in you. Don't despise the slow seasons. Don't curse the waiting rooms. Don't lose heart when you can't see the plan. Sometimes the best proof that you're chosen is that you're still standing when everything tried to stop you. That's resilience. That's grace. That's purpose refusing to let go of you. You are still chosen to shine in darkness. You are still chosen to bring healing where others only see hurt. You are still chosen to rise above what was meant to bury you. You are still chosen to speak hope into hopeless places. You are still chosen to live, to love, to lead, to lift others even after being broken yourself. Chosen doesn't mean easy. It means trusted. Trusted with trials, trusted with time, trusted with transformation. And even if you don't feel ready, even if you don't have all the answers, even if you're still figuring it out, you are still chosen. The journey may be hard, but the outcome is worth it. The waiting may be long, the promise is certain. So lift your head, straighten your shoulders, take a deep breath and remind your soul, I'm still chosen, not by people, not by circumstance, but by purpose itself. You are still chosen to rise, to heal, to shine, to build love again. And no matter how dark the night feels, the dawn will always come for those who are chosen to endure it. Because when life breaks you down, grace will always build you back up. When the world forgets you, destiny remembers your name. And when you start to doubt your worth, heaven whispers again. You are still chosen.